Okay. Daf is Masechta Bava Kamma Daf Tzadik Dalet.
Yeah.
Start from Tzadik Gimel, Omid Beis, Omid Abai. In the Mishnah, we learned that if Hagoizel Eitzim, if someone steals wood, and made it, let's say, into a chair. Okay, you made it into a chair. Samar, you would steal wool, Vasan Bagadim, and you made it into a clothing. Let's say you made it into a sweater. Mishalim Kishas Gzela. You don't have to pay the sweater back, and you don't have to pay the chair back. You have just you don't have to dismantle the chair or the sweater. You just pay the value of the wood or what you stole. Because shinui is koinif, something, if you change the item that you stole, you acquired it. So Abaya said, Umar Abaya, some Gimel Amabeis, Umar Abaya said, Reb Shimon ben Yehuda, Reb Shammai, Reb Lezer ben Yankov, Reb Shimon ben Elazar, Reb Yishmael, Kula Svirule, Shinu ben Kaima Oimed. All these Tanoim, and we're going to go one by one, each one of them holds that Shinui does not make the person that took it acquire it. Shinui remains in its place. That's another way of saying Shinui is not koine. Shinui doesn't work. So the Gemara says like this. Rab Shimon ben Yehuda Hada Amra. Rabbi Shimon ben Yehuda, we said before in the previous Amid, on this Amid, that we said Rabbi Shimon ben Yehuda holds that a shinoi, if you color let's say you colored the wool, you're not kind of the wool. That's Rabbi Shimon ben Yehuda. So we see Rabbi Shimon ben Yehuda holds shinoi doesn't work. Where do you see Beishamai doesn't hold that shinoi works? So the Gemara says, the Tanya we learned in the Brisa, Nasnu lochitim besnen avasa on soilus, zeisim vason shemen anon vason yayin. Let's say you gave chitim to a zoina, right? Wheat to a zoina as payment, or olives to olives as payment. And now the halacha is, the Torah tells us that you cannot bring it as a korban, as part of a korban. But what happens if she turned the chitin, the wheat, into flour, the olives into oil, the grapes into wine? So it's a shinoi. Tanachada, one brisa says asa, it's still asa for the Beis HaMikdash. But Tanidach mutter, and other brisa says it's mutter. The Omar Rabbi Yosef says, Tana Guriya, and we go to Tadik Dalet, Damas Barik, Beis Shammai Oisrim, Beis Hillel Matirin. Beis Shammai says that it's asa, because even though you made a shinoi, you took the wheat and turned it into flour, the oil, the semen, the olives you turned into oil. Despite making a shinoi, it still remains also for the Beis HaMikdash. And Beis Hillel says it's mutar. So we see Beis Shammai holds shinoi is not koina. Shinoi doesn't work. My time at the Beis Shammai, so the Gemara says, what is the reason of Beis Shammai? Amakra, the Torah says, Gam Shneim. By L'Savi Yesen, Soina, B'chiakela, Beis, T'avas Hashem, Gam Shneim. L'Rabish Shinuyehem. That no matter what, any change is usher. Doesn't change. It still remains also. You can't bring it into the Beis HaMikdash. Well, Beis Hillel says, the pasuk says, "Hein v'lo shinayim." Only they remain asa. The etzem payment, the real payment for the znus, that remains asa. But if the lady made a change in the item, she turned it into something else. That would says the Gemara, Beishamai Oksiv Hein. It says the word Hein. What do they do with the word Hein? Because it say nu Hein. Hein and not their offspring. In other words, if you gave an animal as a payment for znus, then that animal remains asa, but the offspring of the animal, that is mutter to be brought as a carbon. Beis Hillel says tart shamet minei hein v'lo shineim hein v'lo v'lo. Doesn't matter if it changed or it gave an offspring; they all remain. They don't remain asa. Frag the Gemara Basil Nami Oksiv Gam. It says Gam. Something else is also included more than the item that you gave as payment for the znus. But Gam seems to add something to it, and according to Beis Shammai, Gam adds the shinoi that you did. But Beis Hillel holds shinoi. If you make a shinoi, a change in the item, it's not asar. So what does Beis Hillel do with the word gam? So the Gemara says, Gam le Beis Hillel kasha. That Gam, according to Beis Hillel, remains difficult. Says the Gemara. So we have already two Tanoim, two Beis Shammai and Shimon ben Yehuda, and now we're going to come to a third Tana who holds Shinoi is not koina. The Tanya Rab Lezer ben Yaakov, the Mahi. What's the case? What was Rab Lezer ben Yaakov saying? Tanya Rab Lezer ben Yaakov. Rab Lezer ben Yaakov says, a guy stole a pound of chitim. Tachna, he grounded it up, lush, and he kneaded it, va'afa, and baked it. So now he stole chitim and turned it into a dough and baked it into a challah. And from that bread, he was mafresh challah. Ketzid mavarach, how is he going to make a bracha? Ein zeh mavarach, that's not a good bracha, elemenoitz. You're doing something repulsive by the Eibishter. When you steal something, and you make a bracha on it, you make a bracha al hafrashas challah, that's called doing something repulsive to the Eibishter. So we see that Reb Lezer ben Yaakov holds that despite stealing the wheat, grinding it up and changing it into a dough, and even baking it, it's all a shinoi, but despite the fact, it's still considered stolen bread. And therefore, that kind of a bracha is disgusting by the Eibishter. So we see Reb Lezer ben Yaakov holds, shinoi is not koina. Rab Shimon ben Elazar Mahi, what's the story about Rab Shimon ben Elazar? The Tanya we learned in the Brisa. Klal zeh Rab Shimon ben Elazar. Rab Shimon ben Elazar said a rule: Kol shevach. If a ganav steals something, let's say he stole a chair, and he painted. Kol shevach sheishbiach gazlan. If the gazlan did increase the value of the item that he stole, yodai al eliyona, then he gets first rights to decide what he wants to do and how he wants to pay back the person that he stole from. Rotza, if he wants noitel shivcha, he can take the item, the chair, because he painted it. But Rotza, if he wants, he could give it back, and that's it. Now, my Kamma, what did Rab Lezer Shimon ben Elazar said? If he says you can take it back, of course. If you painted it, why wouldn't the guy want to accept it back? A more valuable chair. Rav Sheshes says, Hachi Kamma. This is what he meant to say. Hishbicha, if the Ganav made it, Hishbicha made it nicer, Noitel Shivcha, he can keep it. Kochash, but let's say it broke. Let's say it got weakened. Let's say the chair that you stole broke its leg. Say, Hare Shalachal, you can give it back the way it is and say, here, Mr. Nigzal, I stole this chair from you. I'm returning it now with 3 legs, and that's it. The Shinu bim Kaima Aimed, because the Shinoi remains still with its original owner, and therefore the Ganav was not coined with the Shinoi of Hakasha. So the Gemara says, if that was the case, even if he painted the chair, why is he allowed to keep the chair? He has to be able to return the chair. He should be required to return the chair because Shinui is not koina. And it answers the Gemara, Amri b'mnei takana shashavim. We want to make it easier for him to do tshuva. And if you say that he can't keep the chair and he's going to lose out on the hard work that he did to paint the chair, he's not going to want to admit that he stole the chair. So therefore, make it easy for him to do tshuva. But really, this opinion of Shimon ben Elazar holds that Shinoi does not change. Shinoi is not kaina. Rabbi Shmuel Mahi, what is the story about Rabbi Shmuel? He also holds Shinoi doesn't change anything. The Tanya we learned in the Brisa, mitzvah peya lahafrish min Kamma. The mitzvah peya is to separate from when the item before you cut. Peya is the item, the produce that's in your field. The produce that's in your field, you're not supposed to cut off the corner. And when you're harvesting the field, leave a little bit for aniyam. But mitzvahs pei lahafresh min Kamma. From the standing wheat, you have to separate peya. Lahifresh min Kamma. If you didn't do it when it was standing wheat, mafresh min ha'omerim. Then you separate it while you bundled it into bundles. Lahifresh min ha'omerim. If you didn't separate it while it was bundled, mafresh, you could give off peya min akri from the pile of bundles. Ad shloi mirch, until you smooth it out. But mirchu, once you start smoothing out the whole pile, and that is called Gemar Malacha. It's as if that's like the final job in harvesting your crop. So therefore, it's Chayiv and Maisris. So before you mafresh peya, maser, you have to give off Maiser, and then give the peya to the aniyim. So, but up until that, it's really no shinui over there. It's basically wheat that was cut, bundled, put in a pile, smoothed out, but it's still the original wheat. But Mishum Rab Shmuel, but that's after that, you can't give payah. But Mishum Rab Shmuel, Amri, in the name of Rabbi Shmuel, it says, Af mafresh mina isa v'noisnin loy. That means that even if you separate from the dough, you can give it to him. In other words, even if you made it into a dough, you can give it. So he see that unbelievable. You took a piece of wheat, turned it into a dough, and you can still give off payah from the bread that you baked. So we see that Rabbi Shmuel holds that the shinoi is not koine. It still belongs to the poor people, and you have to give off payah. So that's the name of Rabbi Shmuel. Amalei Abayas, Rapapa asked the question to Abayah, Ichbel Kolhani Taner Lashmini Kibei Shamai. It seems that all these Tanoim, Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Lazar ben Shimon ben Elazar, Rabbi Lazar ben Yankov, and then the first one, Shimon ben Yehuda, all seem to align themselves up with the opinion of Abayah. Why should that be? That's not the halacha that Amalei. So Abayah answered, Hachi Kamri. This is what these Tanoim will hold. They're going to hold that Beis Hillel would agree also to this concept that Shinui is not koina. So Abaya has it very straightforward that Shinui is not koina, and there's many Tanoim to back it up. And Rabbi is going to say that even Beis Hillel would agree Shinui is not koina. Now our Mishnah, I don't know, maybe that says Shinui is koina is an off Tana, but most Tanoim hold Shinui is not koina. Amar Rava disagrees. Amar Rava Mamai. How do you know that? Maybe everybody holds Shinui is koina. Shinui works. Bilma Adkan like Shimon ben Hassam. Shimon ben Yehuda said over there that Shinui doesn't work because he's talking about a unique case. When you colored the item, you colored the item, but you can take it off with soap or something like that. So it's not a permanent coloring. Therefore, that shinui didn't work. Va'ad Kamma Beishamai Hasa Beishamai didn't say by the Esnan Zoina when she turned the wheat into flour that you can't make it to the base of Migdash because it was strict. Elul Gvoya Mishum de Imus, because we don't want anything that came from a payment to a Zoina as into the base of Migdash. So therefore, we're very strict. Over there, we'll say Shinui is not koina, but normally we'd say Shinui is koina. The ad like Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov Hossam, and Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov didn't say over there Elul Inyan Bracha regarding a bracha Mishum Dehava Mitzvah Haba Ba'avera. We don't want you to make a bracha if you stole food. So therefore, we said over there Shinui is koina. Shinui is not koina. But normally, Shinui is koina. And Shimon Laza was talking about that if you have a weakening, that could turn back to its original form. Let's say you stole. Let's say I was giving the example of a table that lost its leg, but really this leg, if you find it, you could put it back together and make it back into a chair. The chair that lost its leg, so it could come back. So over there, we will say it's not koina.
Not koina.
Not koina. But kan lekom Rab Shimon Yishbol Hasam Ela Peya. Only regarding Peya, Mishum de Ksiv Tazav Yisera. The Torah says Peya, even if you make it Shinoi, the Torah adds an extra word Tazav, just give it to Aniyam. So there is an exception. Let's learn from there that everywhere, just like Shinoi is not koina by Peya, Shinoi should not be koina all over in Kol Torah Kula. And says the Gemara, matnas aniyim shani. Matnas, the gifts aniyim is extra. The Bayram Noyis, my time with Rabbi Shmuel, Mishum Dushava Shinu Aina Koine. Is it because Rabbi Shmuel holds Shinu is not Koine? That's why if you bake it into a bread, you still have to give all Peya. Dilma, and this is the point. Ba'alma Kasava Shinu Koine. Shinoi is Koine. But over here by Peya, Mishum Ksiv Taz of Yisera, the Torah says, leave it for the aniyim. So over there, Shinoi is not Koine. So therefore, Basically, what we just went through this exercise and said that all these Tanoim, yes, said Shinu is not koina, but they had an individual reason why they said in those particular cases Shinu is not koina. Normally, Shinu is koina, like in our Mishnah by Gezela. You stole eitzim and you made it into a kalim. So that Shinu is koina. But over there, Shinu is not koina either because it's because it's batnas aniyim, or it has to do with Shinu.
Not good material.
It's not a good shinoi.
Not good material. It's not nice.
So, if you're going to say that the reason of Rabbi Shmuel is because he holds shinoi is not koina, tazev you say the kasar rachmana lamali. Why did the Torah write an extra tazev? V'sula rabbanon tazev say the kasar rachmana lamali. Rabbanon holds shinoi is koina. So they said tazev, and something else. Like Tanya, we learned in a brisa, hamafke Kamma v'ishkel lebayk of tzari. Someone who's made he wanted to get out of paying maasros, so he took his vineyard and he said it's hefker. And the next morning he's cutting it. True, he's pater from a maisa, but all the matnas aniyim he still has to give it. So that's what tazev yisera is, but not to teach you anything else. But that's only if you learn that Rabbi Shmuel holds Shinui is not koina. But what Rabbi said, everybody holds Shinui is koina. Nu Gemara. Amar Rabbi Yehuda Shmuel. Rabbi Yehuda said in the name of Shmuel, halacha Reb Shimon ben Elazar. The halacha is like Reb Shimon ben Elazar. That what? Shinui is not koina. Says the Gemara, mi Amar Shmuel hachi. Did Shmuel say like that? Amar Shmuel, ein shama loy leganav loy legazal and izakim. Shmuel said that for a ganav and a gazlan, if they steal an animal and the animal died, you make the ganav pay a new animal. And you don't say, oh, what is the nevela worth? So we see that shinoi is koina by a ganav and gazlan. So you have a contradiction to Shmuel. One place he says Shmuel is the halacha is Reb Shimon ben Elazar, that shinoi is not koina, and here he says shinoi is koina. According to Rava, it's not a contradiction between Shmuel and Shmuel. When did Shmuel say Shinoi is not koina? If you have a very weak type of Shinoi, which is a weakening that could always, come back to its original form. So, when did Shmuel say that Shinoi is not koina? Is only back chasha the kahada. When if Shinoi that could go back to its original place. If you have a real shinoi that can never revert back to its original form, like an animal, you steal an animal and it dies, even Shmuel would agree shinoi is koina. So that's how you resolve the apparent stira, the contradictions between Shmuel and Shmuel. According to Abaya, the Oma, ki kamar Reb Shimon ben Elazar v'chashad lo'ihada, Kamma ma'ikel meimar. According to Abaya, when did Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar say that my machasha deloy hada Kamma my ikal meimar? That even Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar was saying that Shino is not koina, even if it's a real Shino, a chasha that's never going to come back to its original form, and yet Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar will hold Shino is not koina. So how do you resolve the stira? Abaye masna hachi. Abaye will have it simply. Amar Rabbi Yehuda Shmuel. We go to Amar Beis. Halacha Rabbi Shimon Elazar. The halacha is like Rabbi Shimon Elazar, but Shmuel added Shmuel himself doesn't hold back. Shmuel holds Shinoi is not koina. Shinoi is koina. It's only Rabbi Shimon Elazar holds Shinoi is not koina. Amar Rabbi Chia bar Abba, Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Devar Torah min Torah, Gezela hanishtanes chayzeres beineha. A gezela that has changed, you just have to return it the way it is. So if a gezela, you steal something, and something happened to the item, it's not the same item that you stole, you have to return it anyway. Shenema, the heishiv es gezela asher. You have to return the item that you stole no matter what. Mikol makom, no matter what happens to the item. If you have our Mishnah says something different, that you don't have to return the item. And so the Gemara, because you steal eitzim and you made it into a kalim, all you have to do is pay money. You can write a check and keep the item that you changed it to. Because you want to make it easier for a person to do tshuva. So therefore, our Mishnah is just saying that you don't have to return the exact item. But min ha-Torah, you really are supposed to return the exact item that you stole. Even as the Gemara, Mi Amar Rabbi Yochanan Hachi, did Rabbi Yochanan say that? Rabbi Yochanan said, Halacha Kistam Mishnah. The halacha is like an anonymous Mishnah. Which now we learned in the Mishnah, potter, that if you didn't have time and you colored the what? You colored the wool. So then you potter from Rishis Agaz, you keep it. So we see coloring is a shinui, and you are kind it. So the halacha is like that Stam Mishnah. So we see shini works. To explain that stira is like the same thing we've been saying over and over again. There are two types of shinois. One type of shinoi that we say is not koina is that you could easily take it apart and revert it back to its original form. Let's say you steal a treated wood and you make a chair, so you can undo the chair and make it back into wood again. So therefore, that shinoi is not koina. But if you color an item, you paint something, and it's very hard to take off the paint, there it's a shinoi that would be koina. And that's the Rabbi Yochanan saying. Kegoin, our Mishnah is talking about shegazel eitzim meshupim. You stole treated wood, vasayin kalim, and you made it into, let's say, a chair. But you could always take apart the chair. That's a shinoi that can revert back to its original form. In that case, the minat Torah, you have to. It's a weak form of shinoi, and therefore you have to return that original item. But
the quality is no good.
But Varan said you don't have to, is because tekonas hashavim. If they're going to make you take apart the chair that you made, you're not going to want to do tshuva. So they said, you could write a check to the one that you stole. But if it's a real shinoi, then you kind it anyway. Now the Gemara is going to say a fascinating thing. Tana Rabbanan, rabbis taught, Hagazlonin, Umalvi Berizis, Shechziru, Ein Mekabel Mehen, Makabel Mehen, Ein Ruach Chachamim Neichamenu. Okay, we're going to just do this piece and then we'll stop. If people who steal, people who are lending with high interest rates, Shechziru, and they want to return the money to the people that they stole from, and the people that they lend with interest, they're trying to do tshuva, the victim, Ein Mekabel Mehen, should not accept it from them. Because we want to make it that it's easy for them to do tshuva. You say you could keep it. If you do accept it from them, that's not a midas chasidus. So this was, what the Gemara is trying to say, the Brisa seems to be saying that if someone steals something from you, you're supposed to let him keep it. So Rabbi Yochanan qualified this. He says, Ben Brei Mebi Nishnish Mizuzu. In the days of Rebbe, when there was a lot of gazlonim, if people were saying, no, pay me back, you have a ganav who made a Ponzi scheme, he doesn't know who he stole from, he'll never be able to do tshuva. So then we tell the victims, say, keep it, you do tshuva min hashamayim. Tanya, we learned in the Brisa, there was a person that wanted to do tshuva. And he stole from everybody. He was a big ganav and he stole from everybody. But he's trying to do tshuva and he's going to go out of his mind. Amalei Ishta, his wife said, Reika, you empty one. Im ata oisa teshuva, afila abneit eina shelcha. If you do tshuva, then even your belt is not yours. V'nim navaloi asa tshuva. In other words, even the belt that you have on your pants is not even yours. So don't. What are you going to start returning? This item that you stole and that item that you stole, give it up. So the guy didn't end up doing tshuva because his wife convinced him out of it, telling him that it's too hard to do tshuva. At that time they said that a gazlan and someone who borrows with ribius that returns it, we don't. That in that time, that period, they said, people who are a victim should make it easier on the ganav to do tshuva. And if you're not that way, then that's the Chachamim were not pleased with what you're doing. One more, and we'll stop. Meisvei Heniach lehem aviyam moisha ribis. Afa pi shehein yoidin shein ribis. Ein chayavim lahachzer. If a father died and left over interest money, ribis money that he took illegally, and the children know that it's ribis money, they don't have to return it. Oh, so we're saying only if the kids know it's ribis money. They don't have to return it, but their father would have to return it. And you told me that a malve beribis, and presumably this is talking about in the days of Rebbe as well, like that. A malve beribis doesn't have to return the money. And so why does the Mishnah say that the father would have had to return it? Answers the Gemara, the father didn't have to return the money. Why did they say the kids that the kids are not obligated? Even the father was not obligated to return the money. Because we want to give the end of the brisa. If the father stole an item and it's obvious that it's stolen, it says Shloimeh's cow and his name is Yitzchak, or he stole somebody's talus and it says the other guy's name on it, so then they should return it because it's disrespectful for the father that they're not going to return it. So that's why that's only by the children. Tana Reisha, Nami Bidhus. That's why in the Reisha it says it's also talking about them. It says the Gemara, they have to honor their father. Because their father was a ganef, that's why they should return it. If your father is a ganef, you don't have to give him respect. So if your father stole something and you're in the possession of that item, why should you have to return it after he passes on? He was the ganef. So why should you have to show him any respect by returning the item that he stole? Answers the Gemara, that our case is talking about the father before he died did tshuva. If he did tshuva, then why was he still holding on to that talus and that para that didn't belong to him? He should have returned it. Answers the Gemara, he didn't have time to return it until he died. So in that respect, since he made an attempt to do tshuva, and the children wanted to honor their father, who is now about tshuva, since it's a dava masuyim, they should return it. But in any case, that just ends this part of the sugya, and we'll continue with it tomorrow, Be'ez Hashem.